Epic footage from the Bakhmut direction shows Russian forces dropping a guided bomb on their own position, only for a Ukrainian drone of the 30th Mechanized Brigade to detonate it right there. Russian forces have increasingly been dropping their own KAB-guided bombs on friendly positions or civilian areas, often not by design but due to failing equipment. Malfunctions in targeting systems, poor coordination, or jamming by Ukrainian forces frequently cause these massive 500-kilogram bombs to go astray. In several recent cases, Russian troops have accidentally struck their own trenches or towns near the front line, leading to friendly fire casualties and rising frustration among soldiers. What was meant to be precision has turned into chaos, as Russian air power becomes as dangerous to its own side as to the enemy. Ukrainian Special Operation Fighters from the 73rd Maritime and 144th Special Operations Centers stormed and captured Russian positions in Kharkiv region. After offering them a chance to surrender, which was refused, the group launched a swift assault. After eliminating them, Ukrainian forces seized their documents and weapons. One Ukrainian soldier was wounded by mortar fire but received medical aid and is in stable condition. Ukrainian special forces have become a decisive and psychological weapon in the war, operating deep behind enemy lines with remarkable precision and daring. These elite units frequently carry out high-risk missions far from the front, targeting Russian command posts, destroying logistics hubs, sabotaging rail infrastructure, and most notably, capturing Russian soldiers. These surprise raids are often swift and surgical, with small teams infiltrating occupied territory under the cover of darkness, gathering intelligence, planting explosives, and then vanishing without a trace. One of their most effective tactics has been ambushing isolated Russian units or checkpoints, forcing rapid surrenders. Captured soldiers not only provide valuable information but also serve as living proof of Ukraine's reach, even where Russia believes itself safe. This has had a destabilizing effect on Russian morale, especially among troops deployed in supposedly secure rear areas. Knowing that nowhere is truly safe wears down confidence and sows distrust among Russian ranks. For Ukrainian forces, the effect is the opposite. These missions are celebrated in both military circles and the wider public. They reinforce a sense of initiative, professionalism, and superiority. Each successful operation boosts morale, proving that Ukraine can strike back intelligently and effectively despite being outgunned. Footage of these operations, often released in controlled doses, serves both to inspire Ukrainians and to warn the occupiers that the war is far from one-sided. In a conflict where psychological pressure matters as much as physical control, Ukraine's special forces have become masters of fear, disruption, and momentum. Russian Aeroflot Airlines has come in for ridicule after it was reported that pro-Ukrainian hackers found its CEO had not changed his password for 3 years. However, it's been reported that password management was the responsibility of a specialist FSB unit, which is now being blamed. The VCHK OGPU Telegram channel reports that sources say there is panic in the ranks of the FSB's Department T in connection with the hacker attack on Aeroflot. The special service employees who supervise transport infrastructure once again found themselves on the front line and were unable to ensure the security of yet another strategic facility. This is not being discussed publicly, but behind the scenes, there is talk that this area will once again be subject to a purge, as happened after the blowing up of the Crimean Bridge in 2022. Then the deputy minister, an attached employee of the FSB's Department of Transport, Alexander Sukhanov, the management of the department and many others lost their cushy seats. According to the source, the security of the country's main airline is the responsibility of the supervising department, Department 5, located at Aeroflot's home airport, Sheremetyevo, and the indecently inflated staff of the apparatus of attached FSB employees. For a long time, generals retired there. You don't have to go far. At the time of the blowing up of the Crimean Bridge, Department T was headed by Gavrilov, a former member of the airline's board of directors, who had long since lost touch with operational realities, as well as employees who provided security only nominally in reports and certificates. In fact, individual FSB employees are assigned to change passwords. This vulnerability was noticed by hackers who took responsibility for the Aeroflot attack. Information hygiene, updates, and antivirus work are overseen by separate FSB employees who are supposed to keep special logs and monitor the internal infrastructure. But according to the source, whatever attitude the management had towards the service, so too did the subordinates. The 10th Mountain Assault Brigade has released footage of repelling a Russian assault in the Siversk sector. Russian losses: 13 killed, 7 wounded, and 13 motorcycles destroyed. In the Siversk sector, Russian forces have launched repeated assaults in an attempt to break through Ukrainian lines, but the offensive has come at a high cost. Over the past days, wave after wave of infantry, often poorly coordinated and minimally supported, have attacked fortified Ukrainian positions near Bilohorivka, Spiran, and Vesele. Despite intense artillery fire and drone surveillance, Russian advances have been minimal, with only temporary footholds gained before being pushed back. Ukraine's defenders, well dug in and supported by accurate counter-battery fire, have inflicted heavy losses. Dozens of Russian soldiers have been killed in each failed push, and several armored vehicles were destroyed by drones and anti-tank units. The terrain around Siversk favors defenders, and the Russians are paying in blood for every meter. Morale among Russian assault units reportedly continues to erode as casualties mount and objectives remain elusive. For now, the front holds, and Ukraine has turned Siversk into a grinding battlefield that bleeds the enemy without giving ground. Trump has announced he will allow Ukrainian refugees to remain in the United States until the end of the war.
Mr. President, on Ukraine, will you let those Ukrainians who fled the war to stay in the United States until the war ends in Ukraine?
I think we will, yeah.
You will?
I think we will. We have a lot of people that came in from Ukraine, and we're working with them.
State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce responded to a post by Dmitry Medvedev saying the US has many tools at its disposal, and the president certainly does too. She added that President Trump is not concerned with bravado or social media posts. This is a serious matter with bloodshed and innocent lives lost daily. Bruce emphasized that Russia understands Trump's words are serious and should be taken seriously.
We've got a lot of tools in our tool chest. Certainly the president does. I think that what President Trump isn't bothered by is bluster or posts on a social media account. This is serious business. There's carnage. Innocent people are dying every day. And clearly, I think Russia understands that when President Trump says something, he's serious, and they need to take him seriously.
The Force of Freedom Battalion of the National Guard's 4th Rapid Reaction Brigade, Rubizh, performed a remarkable operation, airlifting an electric bike to the front line to evacuate a wounded soldier. Footage of the mission was published on the battalion's official YouTube channel. One of the unit's positions had become surrounded by enemy forces. The battalion had already lost 3 of its fighters, and the last remaining defender, callsign Tankist, tank crewman, was holding the line alone. According to him, during the assault, Russian forces used poisonous gas, a war crime under international law. Despite being wounded, he single-handedly fought off enemy attacks. The nearest friendly position was 1.5 kilometers away, and the soldier was unable to reach it on his own. For 4 to 5 days, Allied drones provided support to Tankist, while the command documented that he had eliminated roughly an enemy infantry squad. To save the soldier, the command devised a special operation to deliver an electric bike using a heavy bomber drone. The first attempt failed. The drone was shot down. During the second attempt, the drone couldn't handle the load. Only on the third attempt was the multi-rotor drone able to successfully deliver the electric bike to the position. After receiving the transport, the soldier with the call sign Tankist set out toward friendly lines, but just 400 meters from safety, he triggered a landmine. Remarkably, he survived and did not suffer serious injuries. An infantry team was dispatched to evacuate him to shelter. Later, another electric bike was delivered to his position, again by drone. It was on this second bike that the wounded soldier was finally able to reach a safe zone.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comments section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. he's doing the job every day.